Hello everyone. I want today to present our work, namely Kохonena maps for clustering fictitious human capital. And also I want to introduce myself. My name is Stefania Vишневська and I represent Ivano-Frankivsk National University, Lviv, Ukraine. I also want to introduce you to other authors, Василь, Приймак, Оксана, Гайнда, Гасько, Роман. And I also want to thank the organizers for organizing this conference. So the role of the influence of the fictitious human capital on socioeconomic development and quality of life of the population of the region has been determined. A study of the process that contribute to the effectivization of human capital, namely unemployment, exacerbation of a social risk, demand for full quality higher education, exciting disagreements in the social and labor sphere was carried out. Clustering of the regions of Ukraine in terms of the level of fiction human capital during 2014 to 2019 into 3 clusters was carried out. Clustering was carried out using the Kохonena maps and the Cummins algorithm in the deductor's business analytic platform. The results of the study related a significant impact of effectivization of human capital on the level of socioeconomic development. Conduction such as a study also allows in a short time on the basis of a database to evaluate and independs the result. Having information about the problems that excite in the regions of Ukraine will allow you to respond more quickly to the determination of emerging situation, and you can also compare the scale of changes which other research similar indicators. The main task of this work is to develop a clear strategy that ensures high precision clustering of regions of Ukraine. Also input thanks to the information system used, a clear interpretation of the initial results is carried out. It is worth noting the fixation of human capital at the regional level requires for more dominant search, since the context of the centralization of management action have a direct impact on the development of this capital. Therefore, the development, implementation, and practical use of the effective methods of its regulation affects the socio-economic development and quality of life of the population of the regions of Ukraine. This confirms the relevance of the scientific research. The main task of this work is develop a clear strategy that ensures high precision clustering of the regions of Ukraine, and also turns thanks to the information system used. A clear interpretation of the initial results is carried out. It is also worth nothing that is sanctification of human capital at the regional level require more detailed research, since in the context of decentralization management action have a direct impact of the development of this capital. Related works. So the improvements of scientific research of the category human capital can be traced back to the rings of the representative of the English classical political economy William Petty, about the modern theory of this capital was formulated in the 16th of the 20th century. Nobel laureates in economic backers, Schultz, and more other economists, the intensification of research on this issue was understanding by scientists that abilities, knowledge, skills, and expanse its market conditional general income. Data mining algorithm. Today self-learning methods and machine learning are the most common during the research. We used various methods and algorithm of data mining. Deductor is a business analytic platform that serves as a basis for creating reporting, applied, analyzed solution in the data fields. As practice shows, the strategy and mechanism of human capital development in Ukraine requires reassessment and careful planning. To solve practical issue, it is necessary to develop a scientifically based concept for the development of human capital in the regions of Ukraine. That is why it becomes necessary to study the negative factors contribution to the reduction of the level of this capital in the future development of the state. In Fig 1 identifies indicators that affect the development of regions and influence the factors of human capital development. The verbal concept of the model of regional research of fictitious capital is formulated as follows: indicators of fictitious human capital, namely migration losses, natural losses, the number of convicts, the number of unemployment population, the amount of wage areas forms, the dominant factors influencing the development of fictitious human capital, the decline of business development, the reduction of costs for science and education, the decrease in the level of state support for the region in defense and management decision, as well as a decrease in the economic standard of living of the population. Data collection, the indicator used to analyze fictitious human capital were determined on the basis of evolution methodology of the World Economic Forum and the Organization for Economic Cooperation, the development, namely according of the WEF methodology, WEF Human Capital Index. With the help of the Deductor Business Analytical Platform and Kохонена maps, handlers and clustering this Kamins algorithm distributed set of these indicators. At the beginning of the study, the data was improved and set in TXT format, then the main parameters of the table columns for analysis was determined years information field and rest input fields. The number of clusters is selected manually. At the beginning of the construction of a neural network, we describe the input space of indicators, and we display it on two dimensional hexagonal lattices of neurons. Nodes of the Kохonena map, where X it is thought all possible indicators are set or real numbers, and each node of the map put in accordance with the parametric vector of the models, and where is the number of card neurons. Before that start a neurons network training, all weight initialization using a random variable after the initialization of network. The so-called competition process start, which consists in determining the most similar neurons to the input data vectors. The most common approach to determining the simulation of vector, it is so calculate the liquid distance between them. After submit the input vectors to the input of the map, the neurons of the Kohonen layers complete according to the winner gets everything, rule according which the winning neurons is selected, which is closest to input vectors as a liquid distance. After determining the winning neurons, the measure of the impact of neighboring neurons is determined. The winning neurons is located in the center of the topological eye. When exciting in the effects, the neurons position close to it, but this effect disagrees with increasing distance to the neurons. This process determines the topological proximity of neurons when closely spaced map nodes received similar characteristics. As the final stage of construction of maps, organization approaches of synaptic adaptation takes place, which consists in the vector synaptic weight of the winning neurons and its neighbors in accordance with the input vectors. We apply a ANN analysis structure database, so the result of analysis clustering of the regions of Ukraine was obtained according indicators that characterize fictitious human capital in the context of the division of regions of Ukraine with high, medium, and low levels of the capital. In table Fig 1, shows that this division of the regions, 3 clusters. In Fig 2 show Kohonen maps, which visually give a balanced assessment of the results of clustering, as well as in Fig 2. In Fig 3 shows a diagram of the estimate of percentage value of fictitious capital in the region. During clustering for attribute separate Kohonen maps and several commons maps the build, it is worth nothing maps object has same position, but different color indicators changes the AQ with the object in a given period of time. At the bottom, the maps show scales that displays the color and value of each object. Summary and conclusion. So in our time, human development is the main element of productive forces. The concept of human capital development needs to be improved, as well as the problems covered in the scientific literature related of the formation, accumulation, and use human capital at all levels. So clustering allow local authorities to obtain quality results and investigate the changes taking place. Also, the speed and practically of the results can contribute to improving the level to human capital. Also, the results of analysis should be used by regional and national management bodies to develop a strategy for the development of regions, improve the distribution of state financial resources, and increase the level of human capital development in these regions. Regarding further research taking into account regional difference in the structure of the economy and the level of human capital development for a more accurate analysis, it is advisable to take into account with the involvement of experts the weight of the primary indicator used. Thank you for your attention.